Hello and welcome to the Virtual Racing League live tonight from Iowa Speedway, race number 6 of 25 here this season. As the drivers trying to find the checkered flag here in the cornfields in Iowa. Such a fun little 7/8 of a mile racetrack. It drives a bit like a super speedway in terms of how you run the corners, but also can see some short track action with some beating and banging. So we'll have to see how the drivers do and fare here tonight and who can come out on top, as we are now 5 races in. This is the 6th event of the season. Drivers trying to set themselves up to try and find a comfortable margin headed towards the playoffs. We're still got a ways to go, about 2/3 of the season yet before we get there, but this is a stepping stone on the way and going to be very important to perform well here at a track different from most. One that the Cup cars don't run at in real life, but one that I believe that they should. Let's take a look at the points coming into tonight's race. We are pulling those up right now. Alec Martinez with the 1 victory this season finds himself atop the standings, but last week's winner at Sonoma, Jeff Wright, climbs to 2nd in the points with that victory, and starting to track him down a little bit. Only 28 points separating those two. AJ Stravato, who we're looking at on the track right now, he comes in here 3rd in points and looking for his first victory or first stage victory of the season. Currently 7th fastest on the board. Connor Horn with his 2 wins so far this season, 4th in the standings. Right behind him, Dylan Parker, who's had a very good start to this year. And tonight looks like he is currently about 11th quickest. So see if he can capture a win or another solid run here. Eric Hutton got the victory at Talladega a few weeks ago. He comes in here 6th. Garrett Keat 7th. Adam Cabot 8th. Keith Mayato 9th. Angelo Veronis rounding out the top 10. Jordan Ashland and Safe Ferris 11th and 12th, and currently inside that cut line, but it is very, very close. Mark Emerson just 2 points on the outside, right there behind Safe Ferris. Jeremiah Vincent, Eddie Trejo, Joe Stafford, Elliot Butler, Yusuf Ghali, last year's champion, not having a great start to the season. He finds himself about 30 points outside the cut line, but tonight may be a good night to turn it around. Currently 2nd quickest on the board in practice, so some good speed for the 54. Caleb Hattery and Lyle Sulfridge, those two rounding out the top 20. As we head to qualifying, let's take a look at the track conditions tonight. 72-degree air temp and 108-degree track temp, so going to be pretty slick out there. As a few drivers already on the speedway, there is Joe Stafford bringing his Chevy Camaro onto the banking. The stage tonight will be at lap 50, and then they'll have to run quite a ways to the end of the race, but we've seen some great green flag runs from these guys this season, and expecting more of that tonight. As Joe coming out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Trying to complete his first lap. And really close to getting that outside wall, but a pretty solid run there. 23:47 for Joe Stafford. But Ben Bafford will beat him by about 76 thousandths. Jeremy Miller, who was quickest in the practice session, he is getting his car warmed up here, rolling on the apron. And there we go, getting up onto the speedway. Oh! Loops it around, trying to get off that transition. We see Yusuf Ghali rolling back on track. Let's go on board with Yusuf here. Take a lap around the speedway. As he's going to roll the high line here in the outlap, try and carry a lot of momentum as he cuts down, back up to that outside wall. Trying to get to the bumps down here, which kind of guide you to the yellow line. Back up to the outside wall, right up against it. And he's going to use the low line here in 3 and 4. The high downforce package in play here. Or actually, rather, the low downforce, high horsepower. As out of the corner there, he will go to fourth quick. Right now, Connor Horn, your fastest driver. Looking for another good start to a race here, as he's going to park it backwards in the pit stall. Right now, Connor Horn, Dylan Parker, Keith Mayato, Yusuf Ghali, Garrett Keat, the top 5. We're looking at the 7 of Zak Halpern, who's on his first flyer lap. He's going to use the middle groove there a little bit, squirrely out of turn number 2. Down into turns 3 and 4, going to use the low lane, but not quite up against the yellow line. We'll see what kind of lap time he gets on this one. 23:52, probably not going to be too happy with that. That puts him 12th of 15 drivers. Take a look at Jeff Wright, as he is still waiting to go out on the racetrack. Elliot Butler, who's started to move up the standings. He completes his first lap, a 24:07, I believe. Currently slowest of all the drivers, but working the high lane here. See what he's able to do on lap number 2, a 24:069, lap number 1. And he will improve to a 23:65. Still not going to be too happy with that, I'm sure. 17th out of 19 qualifiers. We see Mark Emerson starting to roll. I want to welcome everyone tuned in here on V-Speed. This is the Virtual Racing League. Race number 6 of 25. The drivers at the Iowa Speedway. Here Wednesday nights on the channel. You can check us out each and every Wednesday, 9:25 p.m. for this series. As Mark Emerson rolling down through turns 1 and 2, getting up to speed here on the first flyer lap. Good looking lap so far. He dives down into turns 3 and 4. Looks like the winner from last week, Jeff Wright, not going to get a lap time in. As Mark right up by the outside wall. I'm not sure if he touched it or not, but a 23:376. A good lap there. Will put him 7th. We'll see if he can improve. I'm not sure he's going to have the time, and he got really loose there, so probably not going to be able to improve. Looks like Ryan Shelton in a new paint scheme, the Evernham throwback. Nice looking race car. Nearly up against that outside wall. He will just barely improve the lap time, but actually not going to improve from his fast time. He was just running some extra laps out there as the qualifying times have all come in. And let's take a look at where your favorite drivers are starting in tonight's race. Starting from the pole, Connor Horn, the number 67, looking for his 3rd victory of the season with a 23:287. Great lap time there by Connor as he continues to show that speed early on this season. AJ Stravato right there to his outside with a great lap time as well. Just 4 1,000 separating these two drivers. Thank you, Nut P Gaming, for the follow. Appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in. That completes your first row on the grid. Second row, Dylan Parker, 23:343, and Keith Mayato, 3rd and 4th positions, respectively, here to start tonight's event. Good laps by both of those drivers. Starting in 5th, Jordan Ashland, the number 27 machine, and starting 6th, Yusuf Ghali in the 54. Marcus Emerson starting in 7th in the 22 machine. Rolling off 8th, it's Garrett Keat in the 8 car. Jeremiah Vincent starting in 9th in the 9 machine, and Ben Bafford rounding out the top 10 in the 23. Going off 11th, it's Eric Hutton. Starting in 12th, Eli Hinton. 13th, Safe Ferris. 14th, Zak Halpern. 15th, Joe Stafford. 16th, Angelo Ronis. 17th, Caleb Hattery. Rolling off 18th, it's Ryan Shelton. Jeremy Miller, who was quickest in practice, going to be starting in 19th here in the race. And Elliot Butler rounding out the top 20. 21st and final driver to take a lap time, Lyle Sulfridge. First driver to not take a time, last week's winner, Jeff Wright. We'll see what he can do from towards the rear. 23rd, going to be Greg Wellen. 24th, Eddie Trejo. 25th, Brennan Hattery. 26th, Lane Sulfridge. And that'll do it for the field here. 26 drivers going to be rolling off in Iowa as we look on with the pole sitter Connor Horn, who was a championship contender last year with, I believe it was 6 wins by the end of the season. And once again, he's gotten off to a hot start here. Has missed a race, but actually still within the top 5 in the standings with his 2 victories. And I think podium finishes in the other races as we work through turns 3 and 4. We go one more lap around. Once again, tonight's race, 165 laps, just under 150 miles at the 7/8 of a mile racetrack. Stage number 1 is going to come to a completion at lap 50, and the top 8 drivers will earn stage points. So who's going to be in position to get those points? As Stravato and Connor Horn here flanking that brand new iRacing pace car. And if you didn't get a chance to see the Pro Invitational, which just ended, I don't know, about 10-15 minutes ago, William Byron was the winner there at Bristol Dirt, which will be the site for the NASCAR race this weekend. Should be a lot of fun to see those guys. For the first time in quite a long time, the Cup Series will be racing on dirt. But tonight we're racing in the cornfields here in Iowa Speedway. Pace car makes a hard left-hand turn onto pit road. And waiting for Connor Horn to get us going. Green flag in the air as the field stacks up a little bit deeper. They're 3-4 wide already as they cross the start-finish line. Connor Horn will lead them down into turn number 1. He'll drift up the racetrack. AJ Stravato right in line with him as those two have broken out single file already. Keith Mayato to the outside of Dylan Parker. The battle for third right there. And Mayato will take that spot away. The top 3 now single file is Dylan Parker trapped in the unpreferred lane there on the bottom side as Yusuf Ghali now rolls to the outside. Whoops. And that is not what we wanted to do there. Pull up the ticker so you can follow along with your favorite drivers and, of course, cheer them on throughout the event. Let us know you're out there and who you're rooting for, and we'll try and follow along throughout the race. Connor Horn already 2-3 car lengths out in front as we've got a car in the wall. That is Jordan Ashlin, who just rubbed up against the outside retaining wall. Not too much damage, but definitely going to slow him down here as they are 3 wide. Eric Hutton down low. The 7 of Zak Halpern shooting the gap in the middle, and they'll be able to go double file now. But Ashlyn trying to get that car back under control and back in a rhythm here. And you see Safe Ferris right there behind Angelo Ronis. And then the 10 of Ryan Shelton all over the back bumper of the 44 machine. So nose to tail pretty deep in this field as the top 3 have started to pull away just a little bit. But Dylan Parker working past Yusuf Ghali now. Now Ben Bafford on the inside of Mark Emerson as they will battle it out here for 6th and 7th. Mark Emerson going to take that spot away as we have a caution on the racetrack. Safe Ferris around the 44 car early on in this one. So Safe going to be looking to come back from this. We'll see what happened to him here under our first yellow flag. See Safe up on the outside against Eric Hutton there, and then the 30 of Jeremy Miller gets into the picture here, and they're racing it up side by side. This is probably about 15th position. 30 goes in a bit higher, and I think he just, not sure what happened there. I think he just kind of missed the breaking point, gets into Safe a little bit, who just barely kisses the back wall there, or the outside with the outside wall with the back end of the race car. But a bit of right side damage, or left side damage rather, to start things off for Safe, and he'll lose all that track position, falling to last in the field. But it looks like nearly everyone going to bring it down. And that is the case. Everybody on the pit lane, led by Connor. Actually, that is not the case. I am mistaken. The top 21 going to stay out. And only 5 takers to pit lane, including Garrett Keat, who's got some rear end damage. Safe Ferris, of course, involved in that yellow flag. Jeff Wright on pit lane there. He just looks like he took some fuel just topping off there. Safe Ferris didn't even come to a complete stop in his box, so I'm not sure what Safe is doing here. Garrett getting quite a bit of that damage repaired on the right side. He's going to sit in his box now over 30 seconds. Greg Wellen off and rolling. The number 94 car. And looks like the 48 might have gotten a speeding penalty. Maybe going to bring it back down here. Anyways, nope, he's going to stay out. Interesting calls here to start things off. Not sure how many sets of tires they have, if there is even a limit. But Connor Horn still showing the way. We work under the first caution of the race. And this is a very interesting track. One of the newer ones on the NASCAR circuit. They run it in the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series, as well as, I believe, the ARCA Menards Series as well. It's a 7/8 mile, developed by Rusty Wallace, and actually very similar to Richmond in how you race it. Just a little bit bigger, though, and a bit faster, too. You don't really slow down nearly as much in these corners as you would at, say, Richmond, which is much flatter in the turns. But the shape of the track, very reminiscent of the 3/4 of a mile oval down there in Richmond, Virginia. But this track, very good for multi-groove racing. You've seen drivers kind of working the low line. You've seen them working the high line right up by the outside wall, and often that becomes the preferred line just as the tires start to wear off. But the field about ready to get going once again, as we are going to head towards the start of lap number 10. It is Connor Horn and AJ Stravato in control of this field. Good restart by both of the drivers on the front row. And look at that, Yusuf Ghali, maybe a little bit of a jump there as he jumps to the inside of Mayato, 3 wide for the 3rd position. Keith right there in the middle. He'll make the pass on Dylan Parker, but Mark Emerson getting into the right rear quarter panel of Yusuf Ghali, and they were able to keep it straight there. But very close call as the 54 starting to close in on the 36. And a good run out of turn number 4. He may get to the inside of Mayato. Not going to be the case just yet. Keith able to work the outside lane, and he's going to run that lane here in turns 1 and 2. And it's going to work out for him. He'll clear the 54. And everybody trying to settle things out. But Connor Horn being hounded right now by AJ Stravato, who is not letting him get away all that easily. Now Mark Emerson looking to the inside of Dylan Parker. The 23 of Ben Bafford right here in the mix, as well as the 13 of Eli Hinton. The 27 of Jordan Ashlin. That 27's been a bit all over the place to kick things off. We'll see if the car comes to him here, but he's already made contact with the outside wall. And Mark Emerson unable to complete the pass on Dylan Parker, and he's going to be subject to some pressure here as the 23 of Bafford gets to the inside. Mark trying to come down the racetrack, could not do it there. So 23 was to the inside, and now Mark using that high groove, try and get the momentum out of turn number 4. He's able to do that. Jeremy Miller going backwards a little bit right here, but also maybe trying to make some moves as he's trying to complete the pass on Eric Hutton. Can't do it just yet. This is the battle for 13th and 14th position. And right now, Connor Horn out in front, but Stravato starting to find some speed here. Right on the back bumper now. He'll look to the inside. The battle for the race lead, 15 laps in. And AJ Stravato there on the left rear quarter panel. Can't get the run out of the corner, but Connor Horn under fire early on. And preserving the tires will be key here tonight, just like it is everywhere. But the heat tonight, as well as the type of racing here in the short track, you can definitely burn the fronts up quickly. But Connor Horn looking pretty smooth right now, as those top two have pulled a bit of a gap over Mayato and Yusuf Ghali. Dylan Parker still under fire from Mark Emerson. These two have been battling it out since the restart. Dylan able to hold him off for the moment. You see Ben Bafford back here. He's been fighting with Eli Hinton, those teammates, I believe. And Zak Halpern leading a group of race cars here. Here goes Angelo Ronis down to the inside, trying to find some speed. He almost gets into the left rear, and there's a car going around. That was ugly. I'm not sure. I think Eric Hutton maybe. A lot of cars involved in this one. Let's go take a look. Caution number 2 coming out here. Just 18 laps in. Interesting. The 44 finding some trouble this time, but Eric Hutton in the middle of the corner. I don't know if he was checking up for what he saw in front, but safe. A really strong run in the center of the corner. He turns the 88, and the 10 of Ryan Shelton gets into him. Not really anywhere Ryan could go, but then the 71 just drives right into Hutton. Lane Sulfridge just sees it all happening, could not shoot the gap there, and he decides late to try and go underneath, but could not get the car to turn down. Take a look from this is Ryan Shelton's view. You can see he really couldn't do anything. Also, Eddie Trejo, not sure if he got into the side of the 10 car. Sounds like potentially he did, as drivers now coming to pit lane. We see quite a few of them on the pit lane. Top 11 remain on the racetrack now, so a few more takers this time. Welcome, Blazer Pete. Welcome, Nut P Gaming. Nut P, you can join if you go to racevrl.com. I believe they may have an application on the website. We've also got Reggie in the chat here, one of the league admins. He can maybe give you a bit more info on that, but I'm not sure if they're recruiting or not. We're currently getting anywhere between 25 and 30 drivers per week. But they may be looking for more, so as we work under caution number 2, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to present the 2021 Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, brought to you by the American Trucking Association, starting January 14th, 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursdays at twitch.tv/VSpeedSim.
And back at the racetrack, about to take the green flag, it is Connor Horn and Keith Maiato as Connor gets a really good jump here. And back underway we go. AJ Stravato did bring it down. You can see him working a bit farther back there, taking it 2-3 wide, deeper in the field, as Maiato now going to try and chase down your race leader, Connor Horn. And then you see the 13 of Eli Hinton up to third, and now the battle for fourth between Jeremiah Vincent and Jordan Ashland. So quite a few takers from the top 10 did bring it down. The first driver so far making his way forward is Garrett Keat. He actually pitted under the first caution as we saw him getting some of that damage repaired, but starting to make some hay with those tires as here comes Stravato now going to work towards the top 10. Oh, big hit for Ben Bafford deep in the field. What happened there? That car slammed the outside wall as they scatter around him. What happened to Ben Bafford to shoot that car into the retaining wall? The 12 down low. They make a bit of contact. He overcorrects hard and into that outside barrier. That is going to be nearly a day ender for him. Going to be heavy steering, suspension, maybe even engine damage from that. And they continue onwards, and Connor Horn still under fire from the drivers behind him. And AJ Stravato lost a bit of ground in that mess. And so Yusuf Ghali, the top driver on those fresh tires, up to 12th right now, but he is stuck in the hornet's nest 3 wide with Caleb Hattery and Mark Emerson, who's also got fresh tires, and he's going to try and make him work. He's going to go 3 wide. Angelo Ronas, Garrett Keat down the front straightaway across that start finish line 3 wide. Ronas backs out of it. Garrett Keat up high. 22 of Mark Emerson going to make it stick down low, but not able to complete the pass on any of those drivers just yet, as he is trying to work back up into the points-paying positions. Now Eli Hinton taking second away from Connor Horn, or rather Keith Maiato. Connor Horn still your race leader. He's led every lap to this point. Do want to welcome Johnny Boy 12300. And yes, thank you. Appreciate that. We have a lot of fun broadcasting these races. Right now, the battle side by side, Keith Maiato, Jeremiah Vincent. Third position up for grabs as they work down the back straightaway. Mark Emerson now closing in. He's got those fresh tires, remember. And he is currently in fifth and closing in. Just going to be 20 laps to go to the end of the stage here. If he can make it past some of these guys, he'll have a shot to win it. And he is bringing Yusuf Ghali right there with him. Those two clawing their way through the field. Mark Emerson goes to the outside of Maiato. Now going to maybe look to the inside of Jeremiah Vincent. The big send into turn number 3. Accustomed to seeing that from Emerson as he works past him. Really just no issue at all. Maybe Jeremiah letting him go, but here comes Yusuf Ghali. Maybe going to attempt the pass on Mark, but not going to happen just yet. Oh, and he sends it deep into the corner. Contact there, side by side. Look at Yusuf Ghali split the gap, and he's going to try and make the pass now for second over Mark Emerson down into turn number 3. Side by side they go. 22 overshoots the corner just a bit, but they're going to be side by side on exit as well. Nearly contact there. Here comes AJ Stravato with the fresh tires now working past Eli Hinton. Yes, no Alec Martinez here tonight, so that could be a change in the point standings if Jeff Wright can get his stuff together here, but not really a great race for him so far. The 22 is going to put Connor Horn in the wall. Mark Emerson puts the race leader, Connor Horn, in the outside wall. And Connor, we know how furious he can get out here on the racetrack. He is going to be driven by that, and I would maybe even expect revenge late in this race as AJ Stravato has now worked to third, and these 3 now on those fresh tires. But Mark Emerson, a couple of mistakes here while working through the field, getting into a couple of these drivers, and potentially costing Connor Horn this race by giving him all that right side damage. Big hit. That could be revenge from last week. As I think there was a little bit of bumping and banging between those two at Sonoma. right now, lap 35 out of 50 here in stage number 1. And it is Mark Emerson, Yusuf Ghali, and AJ Stravato who have separated themselves. Dylan Parker right there as well on the same tires. So fresh tires definitely paying off. Connor Horn still first of the drivers on the older tires, but heavy right side damage now. And Jeremiah Vincent behind him. Eli Hinton right there behind him. Keith Mayato, Zak Halpern, and Angelo Ronas, the top 10. One driver who took tires there, not making his way forward really, is Eddie Trejo, that 21 car. He finds himself in the 13th position. He'll look to the outside of Garrett Keat, who's got a little bit fresher tires, but not much fresher than the rest of the field. As they do battle up here just inside the top 10, Angelo Ronas, Zak Halpern for 9th and 10th as they are starting to track down Keith Mayato. Mayato in the last position to pay points here at the end of the stage. And Eli Hinton doing a good job right here in front of him to capitalize on all of the craziness. And Keith really starting to struggle there. You see the back end kick out. Mark Emerson working that high line. Here comes AJ Stravato closing in. We saw AJ keeping up with Connor during the initial green flag run. As now he's going to look to the inside of Yusuf Ghali for second. Really working the yellow line down there and couldn't quite get the run, but you can see how hard he is driving it. Maybe going to pull a slide job maneuver here. I think Yusuf just let him go. Knew that 33 was quicker. It might see an opportunity for him and the 22 to get together. Maybe AJ can track him down. He'll learn a little bit and try and get back up there. But Yusuf, we saw how aggressive he was at the end of last season and have not really seen that aggression, in terms of his moves on the racetrack so far this year. Maybe with the championship on the line, it's still so much time this season. We'll see that 54 really come to life, but right now, haven't seen any race-winning speed out of that machine just yet. All over the back bumper, the 33 of Stravato, who is closing in on Mark Emerson, but has not gotten there just yet. Laps winding down the end of the stage. The top 3, top 4 have broken away. Connor Horn still hanging on to this 5th position. As look at that big slide from Eli Hinton right in front of Keith Mayato. This battle is not over with. Keith all over that back bumper, trying to find a way around. I think he's got a little bit more long run speed, the 13 maybe with the mid run speed. But the way that the tires change and fall off and heat cycle at this racetrack can really vary on your driving style. As we have a battle for the race lead, AJ Stravato to the inside of his friend there, Mark Emerson, and AJ with the advantage in the center of the turn, but is not going to be able to drive it all the way out as the 22 is there. And AJ's been very good on this end of the racetrack, but so has the 22. But maybe a little bit of overdriving there for Emerson as Stravato with a good run. I think he'll lead at the line. He will. And I think he may take the lead away. But the 22 gets into him just a little bit, and maybe a little tap right there as well. Emerson very aggressive in stage 1 tonight. He is sliding there in the entry to turn 3. Here comes Yusuf Ghali going to try and capitalize. Mark really fighting that race car, and he has let the stage potentially slip away. And Yusuf Ghali is all over him right now. This is as they dive down into turn number 3. Yusuf going to look low. And out of turn 4, side by side, headed towards that start-finish line. Stravato out by half a second. Oh, and down into the corner, maybe a little bit of contact. And Yusuf just going to clear himself out of turn number 2. Very tight racing right there. And Mark, you can see how hard he drives it into turn 3. I think he's cooked the tires on that machine. We'll see if Dylan Parker can get to him here in the next couple of laps. But Yusuf Ghali already closing in on Stravato. But AJ maybe losing a little bit of speed here as the stage winds down. He's just got to hold on for a couple more laps. Keith Mato was able to get past Eli Hinton, and now a battle for the final points-paying position between Eddie Trejo and Eli Hinton. 13 trying to get to the outside, can't quite get there. 21 clears himself, so Trejo up to 8th. Behind them, Angelo Ronas, Zak Halpern side by side. Everybody else pretty well separated here by at least a car length or 2. But this is the battle for 9th on back. And AJ Stravato, your race leader. He's got one more to go before the end of this stage. And pretty good advantage. Looks like Yusuf Ghali not able to keep up for the moment. And AJ Stravato on his way to his first stage win of the season. Out of turn number 4 across the start-finish line. Green-white checkered waves. As the field still making their way past. And the final driver earning points going to be Eddie Trejo, the 21 machine. As these are your stage results. AJ Stravato, stage winner, earns that playoff point, the 8 bonus points. Yusuf Ghali earning 7 points there. Second place, Mark Emerson, 3rd. Dylan Parker, 4th. Connor Horn ends up 5th after leading the majority of that stage. Jeremiah Vincent, 6th. Keith Mato, 7th. And Eddie Trejo, 8th position. And NutP Gaming, I believe it is racevrl.com. I think I could type it in here for you. That should be it for you. If you want to check out the league and what they're all about. As the field is going to work onto pit lane. We'll see if anyone stays out. I would not imagine anyone does. Ooh, Ben Baffert hard on the brakes there. He is probably a bit frustrated by how that stage progressed with the heavy right side damage for him. Connor Horn into his pit box. We'll see if he stays on pit lane for an extended stay. Or if anyone tries any 2-tire strategy. I don't think it'll be the play tonight. And Yusuf Ghali going to win the battle off pit road there. Mark Emerson 2nd. Stravato with a slow drive down pit lane or something. I'm not exactly sure. But he is going to lose out on that battle. But we're going to see if we can dial him up here. Stage winner. AJ Stravato, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, AJ, you won the first stage there after tire strategy, pit strategy, whatever you want to call it, and you worked your way through the field. A bit of craziness up there at the front. How'd the car feel for you?
Well, I almost lost it going into 3, but it feels pretty good. I think we got decent pace. Stinks what happened to Connor right there, and stinks I didn't come out the leader there. My pit crew stinks, but just got to maintain the tires. It's a little weird with the bump in 1 and 2, so I'm just trying to find some speed in there and keep it pretty much as low as I can to save tires. But that run, I didn't do a good job because I was just going through the field.
Yeah, you're one of the few drivers really working right down against the line. We see a lot of guys working up higher on the racetrack. Definitely interesting to see the different approaches to getting around here, but it's been a lot of fun watching you. Anybody want to give a quick shout out before you go racing?
Mark for taking out like 3, 4 people already. Hopefully you don't do that to us up here, man. All jokes aside, just Dan Asher designs for the car, man. Hopefully it's looking pretty out there on the broadcast. So,
Yes, sir. Well, good luck rest of the way.
all right, man. Thank you.
All right. And that is AJ Stravato. I think I put him in the right spot. We'll see if I did. But doesn't win the battle off pit road. Actually had a better stop than the first two, but it was an extra 1.4 seconds down pit lane for him over Yusuf Ghali. So I'm not really sure what happened. It was just slow getting into the box or just slow rolling out. But he lost a bit of time there, and Yusuf taking over the top spot. If you're enjoying the race so far, it's actually flying by already. This is a fun track. The laps are not too long, and you can have a lot of great racing action very quickly. But if you're enjoying the race so far, please consider following or subscribing. Check us out on all of these platforms as well if you want to stay up to date with what we're doing throughout the week. And we'll be doing that giveaway for a piece of merchandise, a V-Speed shirt or hat of your choosing if you follow us on our Twitter and follow us right here on Twitch. Again, very close to our follower goals on both platforms, and if you want to be eligible for a free hat or t-shirt, just jump on board here, give us a big follow, and we'd really appreciate it, and you'd be eligible for that giveaway. As the field working out of turn 4, it is Yusuf Ghali with control of the race. And he'll get us going here. Mark Emerson, who's already had a couple controversial moves in this one, going to get us going on the inside lane, but they stack up a bit deeper in the field on the high line. Here comes AJ Stravato already under the tack for second, and he's going to back out of it early. Try and work down there right by the yellow line like we've seen him do this whole race. The 3-car of Dylan Parker to the outside of him is going to be able to pass him, and starting to get things settled out here in the top 5. Connor Horn did have an extended stay. He was in the pit lane for 44 seconds. So someone to keep your eye on. He may be up there fighting for this thing before it's all said and done. And you know, he is not going to be happy with the driver that put him in the wall. Ryan Shelton has taken it behind the wall. 24 laps down, and I think he decided after that initial wreck that it was lights out for him. Another driver involved in stuff early on, Ben Bafford, who got tagged from behind. Battling right now for 24th position after starting up there in the top 10. Going to be a disappointing race for him, I think. Definitely some good speed in the 23, but you see the 70 right there in front of him. Lyle Sulfridge, a bit squirrely out of turn number 4, and they're starting to stack up around here. Eric Hutton with some damage from that contact with the 44. Mark Emerson has taken the lead away from Yusuf Ghali while we were looking back there, and now AJ Stravato to second. See the 3-car of Dylan Parker, who is looking to the inside of the 54. Another driver who was up here in the mix who has fallen a little ways back, Keith Maiato in 13th. Keith did get some stage points there, but not sure what this. Maybe the strategy call is to run a bit conservative here, avoid the chaos, and also preserve the tires for a late race run. Jeff Wright has moved his way up into the top 10, and maybe trying to capitalize on Alec Martinez not being here. He could have a chance to take over the points lead. And right now in that 10th position, Connor Horn up to 16th already. And working to the inside of Maiato as there's a bit of contact. Caleb Hattery gets hit by the 29. Maiato checks up. He's going to lose a few positions. But Safe Ferris will move on through. Great save there by the 75. Take a look at that again. Here we go. The 29 just a bit tight there in the center. Look at that drift And a great job by Caleb, who hangs on to 13th, but now under fire from Connor Horn for the 12th position. And up front, Mark Emerson bringing AJ Stravado with him, but they are well out in front of this battle for third. Jeremiah Vincent to the outside of Yusuf Ghali. They make a bit of contact, and Dylan Parker is going to take advantage. He'll take over third and drive right on by. Here comes Garrett Keaton. Big send down into turn number 3. They are 4 wide. This may not work. Not a lot of room on the exit of that turn. And they are 3 wide now. Yusuf Ghali with the advantage. But the 8 car right up to his back bumper. Found some speed in that Chevy Camaro. He has recovered nicely from the damage early on. Now we see Connor Horn 3 wide between Eddie Trejo and Elliot Butler, but they settle that all out. Jeff Wright up into 10th. He's battling for 9th with Jeremy Miller. Little wiggle there by the 7 of Zak Halpern while he's racing with the 8 machine of Garrett Keat. And we have had a change for the race lead. Mark Emerson is giving it up. AJ Stravado tracked him down. It looks like maybe the 22 bounced it off the outside wall at some point here. But he is taking a very interesting approach to the way you drive this racetrack. Let's go on board with the 22. Because from what I can see on the outside, it looks like he is sliding the rear down into turn number 3. Definitely a bit loose through there. You can see he's kind of drifting it on exit. Good control of that race car. 20 laps led for the 22, but Stravado seems to be the car to beat right now with Connor Horn kind of deeper in the fields. AJ was the second fastest in the opening sequence. And like we see on Thursday nights, when Stravado gets out in front, it is often tough to track him back down. It is not impossible, but interesting story here with Yusuf Ghali kind of going the wrong way early in this run. Restarted first and has fallen to 6th now behind Eli Hinton here in the 5th position. Jeremy Miller right here in 11th. He is behind Connor Horn, who's gotten to the back bumper now of Jeff Wright. The 48 not able to complete the pass down low, but fairly organized back here. We do have a battle between Caleb Hattery and Eddie Trejo. This is 14th and 15th. Angelo Ronis right there. He already made some contact with the 75 earlier in this run. And Keith Mayato has fallen all the way to 18th. Not sure what's happened with Keith. No damage on the race car. I think maybe conservation mode for the 36, as we have quite a ways to go. And he might see an opportunity to really fly back up through the field. But right now, almost 5 seconds behind the race leader. And he's got to be careful not to fall too far back and out of contention. As we still have this battle between Jeff Wright and Zak Halpern, but Jeff Wright not really able to find the speed down low. Here comes Connor Horn trying to sneak into the outside lane. The 48 will clear himself there. Just outside the top 10, Elliot Butler now cutting to the inside of Jeremy Miller. And he'll get there. Headed towards the start-finish line, the Dr. Pepper Cream Soda Chevy Camaro. Trying to complete the pass, but once again, that high lane starts to become the preferred line late in the run. Some drivers will utilize the low line all race long. We'll see if Stravato, what he is doing. And he is taking the same exact approach that I would probably take, which is kind of straddle the bumps and roll it down to the yellow line. Seems to be working for him so far. He's one of the quickest on the racetrack. Maybe not the fastest each and every lap, but nobody is significantly faster. That time by the quickest car was Dylan Parker. He's about 1.6 seconds back in the number 3 machine. And we'll see what he can do this time. He was about a half-tenth quicker. Jeremiah Vincent starting to show some speed here as well. That time around a bit slower for the 3. And Connor Horn was the quickest. Not really a surprise there, but he's 9th now, working on the 8th position. He's been able to get around Jeff Wright. And looks like he'll clear himself over Zak Halpern. As we have a battle up here in front of him, Yusuf Ghali, Garrett Keat. Yusuf going the wrong way. I think he may be saving tires in this run, seeing as there's quite a ways to go. And it looks like maybe going to be one of those green flag runs. 7 of Zak Halpern going to give up the spot now to the 48 of Jeff Wright. He really held him up for quite a while, and that allowed Connor Horn to reel them in and actually work his way past. But Stravato now out to a 1.1 second lead, and we are going to go to a quick side-by-side commercial break. We will be right back.
I'm Jonathan Proper, CEO of Drops.com, and I'm here to give you the naked truth about laundry. Size does not matter when it comes to laundry. Let's start with jugs. It's big, all right, messy too, and expensive. You know why? Lots of plastic, lots of water, shipped all over the country, from factory to warehouse to retailer. That's what you're paying for. It's a dinosaur, and we all know dinosaurs are extinct. Meet our imitators. This is your average detergent pod. It has 20 plus chemicals with names nobody can pronounce. Nice colors. I hope they don't stain. I know color doesn't clean. Would you take a bath in either of these? No way. That's why we developed Drops. Drops is dye-free, MPE-free, phosphate-free, animal cruelty-free. So free, it's freaking awesome. We make Drops with only 6 safe ingredients, certified by the EPA. Drops is tough on dirt, but gentle enough for baby skin. It's so gentle, I'm taking a bath in it. Doing laundry with Drops is hard to up. 1 drop equals 1 load. Now, can we talk about my package? 100% recyclable. Manufacturing Drops ourselves and distributing directly helps us cut out the middleman and reduce transportation costs. With delivery plans as low as $4 a month, the average family can save $100 a year. Hello? What are you saying? The cleanest clothes at the lowest price? You're damn right it's a great deal. Thanks for calling. Shipping is always free. You choose the product and plan that's right for you, and we'll drop Drops at your door. The naked truth is that Drops makes laundry better and life easier. Every Drops counts, saving money, plastic, water, and time. So go to Drops.com. The first one's on us.
And back at the racetrack now, an intense battle up here inside the top 10. See Connor Horn work to the inside of Garrett Keat, who has been all over the back bumper of the 13. A little bit of door banging down the back straightaway as the 8 is going to send the 13 of Hinton up the racetrack. And they are 3 wide right now as Connor Horn comes up. The 8 of Keat will be able to clear. But man, this has been an intense battle. Yusuf Ghali was in it at one point. Connor Horn's been all over the back bumper of some of these guys trying to find a way around. And it is so hard to pass here as the run goes on. And they are really wearing those tires out. Now about 35 laps into the run. Connor going to try and pull the slide job. Here comes the crossover from Garrett Keat. As these two work towards the start-finish line, Connor up to 6th. The 8 will let him go. And now Connor set to try and get back up into the top 5. And we do have a battle potentially brewing here. Look at Dylan Parker reeling in Mark Emerson. As they work out of turn number 4, he is there. It's just one car length separating these two drivers. He's all over the back bumper of Emerson. And very unusual for me to see a loose race car at this racetrack. It's so often just a tight setup, and you just got to manage the tires. But today it's managing the rear tires and not the fronts, which is quite a bit different. And right now, AJ Stravato doing a fantastic job of that. He is by far the fastest car on track by over 1/10 of a second. And pulling away now 2.6 seconds in the bank for the number 33. 2.7 now as they battle it up for that spot. Looks like Dylan Parker will take the position. Can Emerson cross him over? Nope, he is not going to get there. So hand that second spot to Dylan Parker, who's had a great start to this season and continuing it here tonight. But he's got a ways to go to have any shot to challenge for this win. Nearly 3 seconds behind as Stravato continues to pull a margin over those two. Keep an eye on this battle that could be brewing as well. Connor Horn closing in on Yusuf Ghali, as well as all of these other drivers. He has reeled them in. Keep an eye on Keith Mayato back here as well. I'm not sure what happened with Keith. Like I said, he dropped through the field, and now he's picking up lap time. But he's about 7.7 seconds back, so I'm not sure if he was just saving fuel, thinking they can make it the whole way. Even if they can, I'm not sure the tire strategy would work out for him. Right now, 14th position for Mayato, who was up there in the top 5 for a portion of this race. His teammate Safe Fair is behind him in 15th. And Angelo Ronas right here on the back bumper of Elliot Butler. Zak Halpern has kind of faded a little bit. He was up in the top 10, now 11th. And here comes the 6 of Butler, going to look to the inside, not going to be able to make the move. Jeff Wright up here in 8th is about as far as he has been able to progress. But starting to close in on Garrett Keat. Everybody trying different things. I think I saw Angelo Ronas up in the outside wall. As this battle getting closer and closer between the 7 and the 6. And everybody pretty much knows the tail right here. 48 on the 8, the 13, the 30. But nobody trying to make the pass just yet. You see Jeff Wright trying to work a half lane or a lane lower. Trying to get that power down out of turn number 4. Looks like he may be at the quarter panel. Not quite there. Is the 8 able to pull back around him. And things are tightening up. Up here, Yusuf Ghali just a car length behind Jeremiah Vincent, who's had a very good run tonight. Up from 9th where he started. And here's the battle a bit farther back. Jeff Wright now going to work to the outside of Garrett Keat. And he is going to be able to complete that pass, I think. Yes, he will. Into turn number 3, he'll make the pass. As these guys work past some lap traffic of Lane Sulfridge, who goes the lap down. Eric Hutton appears to have taken it behind the wall after getting involved early on. Here's a battle for the 4th position. The 54 and the 9, who I believe have already made some contact. And they had a bit of a scuffle last week at Sonoma. Down in the hairpin turn. We'll see if there's any kind of payback or anything here. Doesn't look like Jeremiah can get back to him even if he wanted to. And the 54 of Yusuf Ghali free to run now as he's going to try and track down third place Mark Emerson. Connor Horn down low, going to try and get back in the top 5 here. He'll battle it up with the 9 of Jeremiah Vincent, door to door down the back straightaway. And I think Connor's going to take that away. Jeremiah appears to have just kind of let him go, maybe going to pull a crossover. And not able to get there. And here comes Jeff Wright, really gaining some momentum late in this run. Now 50 laps down on this set of tires and fuel, and AJ Stravato out in front by 3.4 seconds. And still one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. Yusuf Ghali now making the pass on Mark Emerson. That's for third. And Mark not one to really give up. He looked like he was going to make the move, but he does back out of it. Trying to make Yusuf overrun the corner, but that was not the case. Jeff Wright working on the 9 of Jeremiah Vincent, who appears to have kind of used his stuff up. And Jeff Wright now to the 6th position. Everywhere else, I think, single file. Looking for a battle back here. Here's one. Keith Mayato trying to make his way past Elliot Butler. 60 laps to go. Maybe Keith says it's go time. After fading to nearly 20th position, he's up to 13th now. He'll try and track down Angelo Ronas, Zak Halpern, and others and try and get back up in the top 10. But Keith started in 4th. Not sure what's going on. But I think, like I said, it may be a conservative strategy here. Just try and get a finish out of tonight's race with the points he's already gotten. This battle for 8th and 9th. Just a couple car lengths separating Garrett Keat and Jeremy Miller. And Connor Horn working to the inside of Mark Emerson. So the 22 really falling off here. And they've already made contact once in this race. And no payback there. Connor Horn trying to just get back through the field without any drama. And he has been able to pass him into 4th position now. Here comes Jeff Wright. Going to try and take 5th away. Jeremiah Vincent way down by that yellow line. I'm not sure if we'll see pit stops here. We do, actually. The 8 really hard on the brakes into pit lane. One of the harder pit lanes to get to, as short a track as this is. The 21 of Eddie Trejo also going to bring it in. We saw a few pit just a lap ago. Here comes Zak Halpern out. Elliot Butler also appears to be making his way off the pit lane. And all these guys going a lap down as the lead is 4.1 seconds from AJ Stravato to Dylan Parker. When did they start to make the move? Looks like Safe Ferris on fresh tires going to get his lap back. And 27 of Jordan Ashland 1 lap down, in danger of going a second. And actually, Safe just getting one of his laps back. So he is just 1 lap down. So you go 2 laps down, it appears. Or just about. As Eddie Trejo rolling off pit lane. Now you see AJ Stravato coming up behind him. So nearly 2 laps lost by hitting early. Connor Horn making his way onto pit road, though. This could be a huge strategy call for the driver of the 67, as long as he gets in the box nicely, which it appears he has. Keith Mayato also on pit lane as well. Jeff Wright already completed his stop, a long one, 14.9. As Connor gets rolling here, it's going to be a 14.6. And Keith Mayato, 14.2. Good lap, or good pit stop there by Team V-Speed. As Travato still on the racetrack, Dylan Parker going to bring it down now, along with Angelo Ronis. And looking for anybody else who might be bringing it down. Here's those are the only ones. When does the leader come in? Here he comes now. He saw the second place car, brought it down. That'll hand the lead over to Jeremiah Vincent. Jeremy Miller right there in second. Those two remaining. Only 3 drivers yet to pit. Lyle Sulfridge the third one left. As Travato just pulling into his pit box now. Can't make any mistakes. Though he did have about a 4-second margin over Dylan Parker. But Dylan working out of turn number 4 right now. AJ just rolling out of the pit box. This is going to be pretty close as here comes Dylan down into turns 1 and 2. And AJ just rolling out of turn number 2, so the gap has not shrunken much. But Connor Horn is going to make a huge gain on this pit sequence. Now just about a 1.5 seconds behind Travato. Not even that much, maybe 0.7. But AJ on slightly fresher tires as he works to the inside of Eli Hinton, who was one of the first drivers to pit. Garrett Keat, also one of the first, waiting for the top 2 to bring it down. But Jeremy Miller and Jeremiah Vincent right now battling for the race lead, as everyone else is at least 1 lap down, but they are closing in and going to potentially be able to unlap themselves here in a short moment. Zay Ferris was the first driver to pit, and he made up a few positions, but it's probably going to bite him on the back end of the run. But right now, 12th position. He'll probably cycle out to 10th when everything is complete. Right now, Jeremiah Vincent leading Jeremy Miller by just a few car lengths. And they are not showing any sign of coming down just yet. Here comes the 8 of Garrett Keat, who would be your net leader. He's going to try and get back on the lead lap. He goes to the inside of Jeremy Miller. Going to try and shoot the gap to the outside. Not going to be enough room there, and that's going to probably hand it over. So they'll take Jeremiah Vincent 3 wide. Stravato down low, trying to make his way past, and he will make the pass on Garrett Keat, but the 8 fighting back on the high side. Here comes Connor Horn, also coming to unlap himself. So when Jeremiah and Jeremy both pit, they're going to be at a significant disadvantage, probably nearly a lap down, if not at least 1 lap down. And they have been out here for nearly 70 laps on these tires, and I don't think they can make it the rest of the way. So interesting strategy call. Dylan Parker now working to get back on the lead lap. He'll go to the outside of Jeremiah Vincent. And when do these guys bring it in? It's been a long time. I think maybe the 30. Here comes Jeremy Miller. He's going to bring it down. So only 1 driver yet to pit, and that is Jeremiah Vincent, who's got almost a lap on the field. But every driver slowly unlapping themselves here. And right now it is still AJ Stravato going to be your net leader. But big gains for Connor Horn, who jumps up to what will be 3rd when Jeremiah Vincent pits. Garrett Keat up to 2nd. He's probably the biggest mover right there in the pit sequence, but also one of the first to pit. And he has had some good speed. See a little farther back here, the 70 of Lyle Sulfridge. As Jeremiah Vincent did just bring it down, so he's on pit lane. getting service completed on his race car. 14.7 second stop. We'll see how far back he is when he rolls off. As he exits the pit road, here comes AJ Stravato, just a straightaway behind him, so he will stay on the lead lap. He's got 40 laps to try and track down those guys, but it's going to be a tall order. I mean, the fresh tires will be helpful, but are they going to be at least a half second a lap helpful? He's going to need probably 3/4 of a second a lap, actually, to get up there. And right now, the margin from Jeremiah Vincent up to the race leader, 21.6. Jeremy Miller, by pitting 1 lap sooner, is nearly 4 seconds up the road, so this may work out better for Jeremy than it does for Jeremiah. That is a pretty crazy difference between the two. It was the lap time plus an extra 1.5 seconds on pit lane for Jeremiah. And let's see what battles we've got going on. Jeff Wright trying to take over third from Garrett Keat. The field pretty well strung out now after that pit cycle. We do have Yusuf Ghali starting to close in on Jordan Ashland, who pitted a few laps prior. Elliot Butler up here as well. He pitted very early on. And Safe Fair is already starting to pay the price. He's been passed up by his teammate Keith Mayato, and here comes Angelo Ronis with 7-lap fresher tires. He'll drive to the inside, down the front straightaway, and down into turn 1. He'll take that spot away. That is 13th. So Safe kind of gambling there, maybe hoping a caution would come out. And it is always possible under those green flag sequences. You can get a bit crazy with cars entering the track and leaving. And we do have some battling going on behind him here. Zak Halpern, Eddie Trejo, Joe Stafford, Greg Wellen, all here inside the top 20. I'm going to keep my eye on Jeremy Miller to see what his lap times are looking like. Right now, about 0.6 of a second faster than race leader AJ Stravato. He has cut about 2 seconds off the margin. He has 35 laps to go to gain about 15.5 seconds. I think he's probably just going to run out of steam. But right now, got to use up the tires as much as possible. The 71 of Sulfridge up the racetrack. Going to slow him down just a little bit there. But last time by, at 23.9 for Jeremy. Fastest car was Jeremiah, who ran a 23.8. But here's another pass. And maybe another one here, another couple possibly in this end of the racetrack, as he's going to work right on by both Joe Stafford and Zak Halpern. But every time he's got to go side by side, it does slow him down. But the margin now about 15.2 seconds. After being right up there close to 18, so he is closing. He'll now work to the inside of Safe Fair's. This is 13th position and absolutely tearing through this field. Now the gap about 14.5 seconds. Meanwhile, battles brewing up here possibly. It looks like Yusuf Ghali was able to work his way past Elliot Butler and Jordan Ashland. So he'll work his way back up into 8th and try and track down Eli Hinton, who's also on older tires. AJ Stravato about 3.5 seconds out in front of Connor Horn. And Connor definitely gained through that sequence, but he only gained a couple of seconds. And right now, slightly older tires. We'll see if they equalize and what he can do with about 30 laps to go. Going to be a tall order for Connor to get his 3rd victory of the season, but Stravato looking for his first. And we've seen him win so many times over in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. He handed one to Seth Hatchell last Thursday, and what a way to bounce back if he can capture one here at Iowa. after definitely showing the speed, very quick in qualifying, practice, early runs in this race, and then climbing through the field, and now he's played the strategy game just right. He's gotten the car out in clean air, and he is making it work as Jeremy Miller still closing in now the gap about 13.5 seconds, but the lap times are starting to equalize. He's only a few tenths of a second faster, and at this distance, I just don't think it's going to be possible for him to get up there and challenge for the win. Also got a battle right here in front of him. Keith Maiato trying to get back in the top 10. Jeremy Miller right there in front of him, but here goes, or rather Jordan Ashland right there in front of him. Here goes Jeremy to the inside. And he'll take over now 10th away from Jordan Ashland. Keith going to look down low, not going to find any running room down there. But Jeremy's still climbing through the field. He'll still get a nice solid finish out of this. The way I look at it, he may be able to get up there in the top 5 possibly before it's all said and done. This is for 9th position. As you can see the different approaches to the different racing lines. Big slide there from Elliot Butler. Also, I think the 27 of Ashland caught the wall. That checked him up. Here goes Keith Maiato, going to try and attempt to pass really low into turns 1 and 2. And a good run out of turn 2. I think he'll complete the pass down the back straightaway here. The 27 keeping it wound up there in the high line. Not going to be able to get back to him. So Maiato will take over 11th position again. And trying to chase down 10th spot right there. But no battles up inside the top 5. The closest battles on track are right here. This is a 4-car battle for position. And Elliot Butler now under fire from Maiato, as they will go side by side out of turn number 4. 6 cars really lost the handle there. You see how much of a wiggle he has, and he'll lose 10th position. Also Jordan Ashland with the big slide there. That cost him a bit. He gets passed up by Angelo Ronas, who has really found some good speed here in this second run. And he'll work up to the 11th spot. He's got 2 lap fresher tires than Maiato. And right now about a tenth of a second per lap faster. Here comes Jeremiah Vincent as well, who took those tires late in the sequence. And he's quite a bit faster than each of these cars, so he should be able to get up there in the top 10. He'll go to the inside of Elliot Butler. Not yet able to complete that pass, but down the front stretch, he'll be along the quarter panel and probably be able to get past him here in turns 1 and 2. As Elliot really having some blinking problems there. But how about Jeff Wright up here in 3rd? After starting back in 22nd, he has climbed up 19 positions. And really doing a great job here at Iowa to maximize his opportunity to take the points lead. With Alec Martinez not showing up, also the Magic Man, Adam Cabot. That's going to be very interesting in the standings. He may fall right to the cut line. Connor Horn not able to close in on Stravato. He has lost another half second, so the gap right around 4 seconds, and we are going to be coming back to 20 to go as AJ Stravato, 77 laps led. He just has to lead a few more, and he'll have the most locked up. I think he may already have that. But definitely really quick here tonight is the 70 or the 33. I'm going to say the 77, but that is not that car. Connor Horn also quick, started on pole, and he's worked his way back up to second after getting knocked out of the way from being in the race lead. And that right front damage could be hindering him, but also the older tires. But he has done a heck of a job to get back even up here. And, you know, if a caution does come out at some point, which is unlikely with the way these cars are spaced out, he still could maybe work his way back up there and have a shot at the win. Here's Mark Emerson trying to get by Garrett Keith. This battle for 5th and 6th. And Mark Emerson all over that back bumper. Mark has led 20 laps here and finished right up there at the end of stage 1, but didn't get the stage win after leading a bunch of laps up at that point. And he is really pressuring Garrett here for that 5th position, but he's not been able to make the move. Here comes Yusuf Ghali, really wheeling that car as well. This would be one of his best performances of the season if he can get up here and get a top 5. And right now 18th in the standings coming into tonight's race, so he needs to make up some ground if he wants a chance to repeat last year's championship. How about this battle back here? Still going on. We got Keith Mayato, Eli Hinton, Angelo Ronis. Jeremiah Vincent was able to work past all of them, so he's up into 9th. And they're battling it up pretty intensely back here. 15 to go for these drivers. And they are right now about 16 seconds behind your race leader. And Keith really going to send it down there in the low line. They'll be side by side down the back straightaway. Look at the wiggle there from Eli, as he is going to be under pressure now from 2 race cars in the low line. Keith not able to get the drive off. Now he does, as the 13 really struggling for grip out there. He's got older tires, and the 4-lap fresher tires, I think, are going to pay dividends here at this point in the run. There it is, the 13 almost losing it. Hinton really struggling in that race car. He almost lost it right there. Looked almost like he was blowing a tire, which is crazy because he's only got 45 laps on those Goodyear Eagles. And one driver for whom the strategy did not work out, that is Safe Fares battling it up with Greg Wellen. This is 15th and 16th, but Safe had worked his way up towards the top 10 by pitting early, but starting to fade right now with the older tires. And second to last car on the lead lap. Last one is Eddie Trejo. Currently just a couple seconds out in front of race leader AJ Stravato. It'll be 10 to go next time by. He's got 4.2 seconds in the bank. And Stravato winning the stage early on, looking like he could be on his way to victory tonight, assuming nothing happens here. But we do have side-by-side battling between the 22 and the 54. Nearly contact there. Here comes Jeremy Miller. He's going to give the bumper to Mark Emerson. And 3 wide, nearly. But these 3 drivers have been very aggressive this race with the strategy and the moves. And now Mark Emerson gets past him. Almost contact there, as Mark, trying to put that grip down, nearly lost the race car side by side. There's a little contact between the 30 and the 22. Jeremy Miller working up to 7th now, and this would be for the 6th position. See Mark really send it into the corner there, not quite able to get to the bumper of the 30. But he has faded here in this second half of the race. And right now back to 8th position. These different strategies coming back to bite him, as he pitted pretty well right dead center in the sequence. Jeremy Miller 8 laps later, though, and really working out for him as he has cut 5 seconds out of the race lead. But it has pretty much stabilized there. He's running equivalent lap times to your race leader AJ Stravato, who pitted also 8 laps prior. Look at that, driving out of turn number 2 though, as they go side by side. This is for 6th position. 5th position right there in front of him, that is Garrett Keith. So it's possible for either of these guys to get a top 5 out of tonight's race. Looking for more battles on the racetrack. Eddie Trejo has reeled in Safe Fares, and these guys right on the tail end of the lead lap. as AJ Stravato right there behind them has tracked them all down. And really, these two, with some of the oldest tires in the field at this point, over 50 laps for both of them. And Stravato with just 46 on his. He works past Eddie Trejo. He will go one lap down. Safe Fair is now the last car on the lead lap. We'll see if he fights to try and stay on it. Only 5 laps to go, though. Probably not a lot of opportunity for cautions to happen, but you never know. The way that these two are racing up here, actually these 3, we could see some chaos ensue. And you also see Jeremiah Vincent starting to close into this group. Look at the run there by Yusuf Ghali all over the back bumper. And he's going to send it down into turns 3 and 4, try and pull the slide job off. And he's going to park it in the corner. Really parked it there. Almost sounded like he clutched it. That was very interesting. 4 laps to go. And Garrett Key, he's going to lose a couple spots here, I think. Unless he can get back to the 54 and kind of repay the favor there. Here comes the 30 of Jeremy Miller, going to try and get to 6th position. And he is really going to send it in 3 and 4, try and slide up in front. He will get there. Does Garrett try and make a move down into 1 and 2? Not going to happen. Tire disadvantage not going to be able to work out for him. As AJ Stravato coming back to 2 laps to go. He's put the lap on Safe Fares. He is clean track out in front for quite a distance here. 4.1 seconds back to Connor Horn. Jeff Wright starting to track him down, but can't get there. I don't think he'll get there. He's been a bit quicker here the last couple laps, but probably going to be too much. White flag in the air, though. AJ Stravato started up there at the beginning of this race. In 2nd position, pitted in the middle of stage 1 under a caution, drove back to the front, won the stage, and he has dominated this 2nd stage on his way to victory. He'll wheel it across the start-finish line. AJ Stravato wins at Iowa, 2nd place. Connor Horn, 3rd place. Going to be Jeff Wright. How about this battle up here in the top 5? Jeremy Miller and Yusuf Ghali, they're going to slam doors, and they're going to go around. And what a finish for those two. It'll be Yusuf Ghali 5th, Garrett Keat 6th. Jeremy Miller ends up in 7th after that. Nearly a photo finishing. Cars destroyed at the line. But AJ Stravato, your race winner in a dominating performance. 98 laps led here tonight. And he was definitely one of the 2 best cars. And I think, the other one finished 2nd. They just kind of swapped positions based on, what happened circumstantially in this race. And a good strategy call by AJ. Put the fresh tires on, get the track position. And he's going to burn it down here at Iowa. Congrats to AJ Stravato for his first win of the season. We're going to go to commercial break and be right back.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey. V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to present the 2021 Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, brought to you by the American Trucking Association, starting January 14th, 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursdays at twitch.tv/vspeedsim.
And back at the racetrack now, we're going to be pulling up our race winner. Just a moment. All right, here he is, pulling him up into the booth right now. AJ Stravato, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
Yes, sir.
Well, AJ, you won the stage, and man, that long run speed really showed off there in stage number 2. You drove out to a pretty big lead before the pit cycle, pitted at the right time, and maintained a big gap over the rest of the field. You got it done here tonight for the first one for you this season. How's it feel to win here in Iowa?
Pretty damn good. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Pretty damn good, man. I'm not gonna lie. Iowa's one of my favorite tracks, so I knew coming in here we had a decent shot. A little under the weather today, but definitely wanted to race here today, and just a lot of good competition out here every week. So not only to win, but I felt like we had control of most of that race, especially once Connor and Mark made contact and Connor got that damage. I felt like it was kind of our race to lose at that point. So it was just managing the tires and just making the passes when you needed to. I know Yusuf likes to save his tires a lot, and Mark likes to kind of do the complete opposite. So I was just managing that after the stage where I lost the lead, and we were able to do that and kind of figured out something beginning of that first run. So just glad it all worked out, and glad we were able to get some good green flag racing and bring home a win. Pretty cool.
Yes, sir. Definitely a impressive run there, with it being green pretty much to the end in stage 2. We saw you working that low line early on, and you were working it, I think, most of the race. One of very few drivers to make it work. Definitely my favorite way to get around this place. It's fun kind of riding over those bumps down there. But, we saw some really long runs there before the pits, and the tires, didn't seem to fall off as much for you. So do you think that low line and somehow getting the car to rotate using those bumps really helped you out?
It was really weird. I was really struggling at the beginning of practice, and I was even talking about it with some of my teammates. Normally I could get in 1 and 2 and be really low and kind of attack and go over the bump, but with the setup the way it was, you couldn't really go over the bump. You had to really miss that first bump going into 1, and if you're able to do that and just kind of modulate the brakes and the throttles well enough, you could get a run on the bottom, and it really helps save your tires. I had a really good run of it. I figured that out probably about a year ago here, and just long runs here are so key, especially when you have multiple grooves you can kind of run. If you just stay glued to that bottom and that seam in 3 and 4, you can really make up a lot of time, and that's what we were able to do tonight. I just stuck to the plan and what's worked in the past. It worked today, so really happy. Last time I came here to Iowa, I was in another league and kind of screwed myself over here. So it's good to come back here and get a pretty convincing win. I'm pretty happy, especially with the competition here.
Yeah, 98 laps led, your second ever win here in Virtual Racing League. So congrats on that. We go to North Wilkesboro next week, another short track. How are you feeling about that place?
I know there's a couple really fast guys here at North Wilkesboro. I definitely got my work cut out for me. I think we can, if we can come out there with the top 5, I think that'll be a pretty good showing. Obviously, you want to go out there and win, but I know Jeff, obviously Connor, Alec, Adam, all these guys, they're very quick at these short tracks. So if I got to be on my A game, definitely if I want to win next week, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Wilkesboro actually, if it's the right setup, it actually isn't a bad track to drive. So I'm definitely looking forward to it and looking forward to the broadcast, watching this as well, man.
Yes, sir. And you get it done here tonight. We'll see if you can get it done again next week for what would be 2 in a row and your third in the league here. But 98 laps led after starting on the front row in second. You take it home here tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Just my teammates, Sulfur's brothers, Vincent, Jeremiah Vincent, Garrett, Dylan, and Mark when he's not running into people. It was a lot of fun today. Definitely a lot of really good, hard, clean racing. Green flag runs were awesome. Obviously, you, Adam, for doing a hell of a job in the booth by yourself, man. Always great to talk to you and watch these back. And just all the league admins, man. This is known these guys for a while, and this is a good group and a really quick group. So it's good to learn with them, race with them, and beat them. It's a pretty good feeling. So hopefully you can do that next week.
Yes, sir. Congrats again, and we'll catch you then.
All right, brother. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. That was AJ Stravato, race winner tonight. We're going to go to second place finisher, Connor Horn. This is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4.
Well, Connor didn't go fully your way here tonight, but definitely a lot of speed in the number 67 out there. He started on pole, lead the first 31 laps, and kind of got knocked out of the way. He recovered all the way back up to second, just not quite enough steam there at the end to catch AJ. But how you feel about your run here tonight and the speed you had?
I feel like I had winning speed. It was a fun set. The bumps are harsh, but that's just Iowa. Can't do much with the set to get over the bumps well. So you had to run a very, very precise line into turn 1. If you hit the bumps the wrong way, you're gonna shoot up the track and hit someone, and it was really tough. I was able to make it work. I was able to hold off AJ. Obviously, pit strategy came into play. A bunch of people stayed out. The people who got tires came through the field, and some people were coming through the field clean. Others were just weapons. Obviously, specifically Mark. He, he's better off as an admin than a driver because that's the type of stuff he does when he's a driver. He completely pushed Eli out of the groove for like 4th or 3rd, and when I got to him, he completely forgot about holding a line. It's probably something he's never learned to do, and he just straight up walled me. I know I hit him at Sonoma, but the difference was when I hit him at Sonoma, we were on even tires, and I was way faster than him. And here, he was only even near me because I didn't pit, and that showed when we were on even tires. We were way better than him because he drove the tires off, drove really hard on short runs to get a gap, and would just lose that over the last around 30 or so laps of a run. So sadly, I'm not surprised he did that, but it's whatever. If it's payback, whatever. But even with the payback, he still couldn't finish ahead of me, so it was kind of funny. But other than that, it was fun driving through the field. The car was still fast, only 30 seconds of repairs. It didn't do too much damage, even though I tag-slapped it. And it was definitely difficult to pass, but if you saved your tires enough, you could pass on the bottom, and it was fun to try and pull off sliders. I pulled a slider on Garrett. I battled Jeff for a while there, Halpern. It was fun, and I feel like I nailed the green flag pit stop entry, but AJ obviously had a big lead, so I needed him to mess up to get in front of him. I got within a second, but it was just a bit too much from there. I tried my hardest to drive him down and track him down, just didn't work out.
Yeah, he had the tire advantage on you. You did have a little better sequence through the pit lane, but he had a pretty good drive down the lane as well. So, yeah, I think it kind of ended up probably how you'd expect with the tire disadvantage. But man, what a recovery really to make your way through the field. We saw a lot of drivers who couldn't do that tonight. So definitely big props to you for working your way back up there into the mix. And if a caution had come out, maybe they would have been yours to lose. So there's always that perspective. But second place tonight, and we go to North Wilkesboro next week, a short track again. What are your thoughts on that track?
A lot of people don't like it. I love North Wilkesboro and the Cup cars. iRacing struggles to get multi-groove racing, but that's a track you really don't need to do anything to the track to have multi-groove racing. You can make the bottom work, wrap the curb in 3 and 4 pretty well, and also get to the very bottom out of 2. And you can also run that banking second groove, and that can work as well. A lot of good side-by-side racing. Eustace really fast there. Jeff's really fast there. We had a battle there in another league a while ago. AJ's got some speed there. Mark does not, so we probably won't be seeing him up there. But otherwise, it's going to be fun. I love North Wilkesboro. Like I said, it should be a really fun race. And it's not the similar track to Iowa, but both two sort of short tracks. And we had a lot of good racing here this week. So hopefully next week we'll have the same sort of racing because it was a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, nice long green flag run to end things here, and definitely been a lot of great performances so far this season, and yourself included. You're right up there in the mix to get up there for the regular season championship, even with a race missed. So another fantastic performance from you here tonight, Connor. Second place, you lead 31 laps after starting on the pole. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Just the teammates, Jeremy Miller. He had a decent run. He did the overcut, almost got top 5. Yusuf Ghali ran top 5. He had a good track, good car all night. Zak Halpern, he probably could have finished top 10 too. He got hit a few times in that final stage of the run, and Ben Bafford, who kind of got caught up in a little bit of a wreck. I don't know how, but it was unfortunate to see him wreck out. But we all ran strong tonight. I think we were all top 10 cars, and I think hopefully everyone saw that tonight because we looked pretty good. And also shout out to AJ for winning that race because I wish I could have battled him, but he put on a hell of a show at the end there. I couldn't catch him.
Yeah, definitely really quick out in front. The clean air and fresher tires, probably playing a big role, but you two were definitely the fastest cars all race long. So congrats on second, and we'll catch you next week at North Wilkesboro.
That's it for. See you there, Adam. I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, that is Connor Horn, second place. Let's go to third place, Jeff Wright, who's going to probably be pretty happy with this result. Jeff Wright, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Jeff, you had your work cut out for you here tonight. You didn't take a qualifying time. You start 22nd, and you worked your way all the way up through the field to finish up here on the podium tonight. Good follow-up from last week's victory at Sonoma. And, the points leader did not show up tonight, so I think you'll probably come out of here with that points lead. But how does it feel to get out of here with the podium after starting so far back?
Yeah, after starting way back there, it feels really good. I didn't think I was going to have a chance even at a top 5 since I was so tough to pass at. But yeah, I didn't get a lap in qualifying, actually wrecked both laps. And then I decided to disconnect from the sim and then reconnect. That way I'd get the very first pit stall. So in qualifying, I think, I showed 22nd, but really I started 26. So I was just planning on riding back there. I wasn't even planning on trying to get to the front. I figured normally at a short track, you'll have early cautions and a lot of wrecks, which for Iowa, we actually were pretty clean tonight. So after a while, I just had to decide to, try to get up on the wheel and try to make my way towards the front, and had pretty good speed on the long runs. And I think the first few runs, I was actually able to get up to like 13th. And then from there, we got another big long run before those sequence of pit stops. But yeah, really happy with third place. I probably would have been happy with the top 10 coming in here tonight, considering where I started. So a big congrats to AJ on that win. That's awesome for him. Also, I got to say a quick apology to Zak Halpern. I got into him, and I think I wasn't the only one tonight either. So he had a rough night. I hit that bump, and I came out of the pits on fresh tires there, and I guess I thought I could drive it in a little harder than what I did, and hit that bump probably about as worse as I possibly could, and just send him up the track into the fence. So just wanted to address that real quick. But yeah, other than all that, I'm really happy to come away with the top 3.
Yeah, definitely a strong performance. And, we saw you kind of mired back there for a while, and we're waiting for you to to start moving through. And then all of a sudden you're up there in the top 5. And I'm like, where did he come from? But yeah, definitely good speed here tonight. And a lot of guys did make that same mistake in 1 and 2. So probably can't feel too bad about that. But definitely, I'm sure Zach will like to hear the apology. But third place tonight, we go to North Wilkesboro next week. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, North Wilkesboro, it's really unique place. It's a tiny little bull ring. Qualifying is going to be really big there. It's going to be probably harder to pass there than it was here tonight. So just going to try to really go in there and focus on getting a good qualifying lap, and then just trying to stay out of trouble. Hopefully we can finish that whole race. Such close quarters racing, there's going to be a lot of incidents, I would imagine. Maybe not so many wrecks, but people are going to be getting into each other, probably getting some fenders bent. So I think if we can keep the car clean and stay out of trouble, I think we have a shot maybe at a top 5, top 3, depending on how everybody else is doing. Might be able to go get a win. We competed Connor Horn there, really competitive in a different league there. So I imagine he'll be on his A game at North Wilkesboro. And then pretty much anybody you saw racing up front tonight will probably be good at North Wilkesboro. So considering it's a short track, so a lot of the same skills carry over. But yeah, I'd say if we can get a top 5, and even better, a win, I'd be really happy.
Yeah, definitely would be a great way to, continue this momentum. You're probably going to take over the points lead, like I said, after this run tonight. So, some good progress so far early on in this season. But third place tonight after starting deep in the field, like you said, probably 26th. It shows 22nd, but anybody you want to give a shout out to for the podium finish?
Yeah, just a quick shout out to all the league admins again for putting these events on, you for the broadcast. And then Bailey Turner, he hasn't been here. He's on our team, but he hasn't been here at all this season. He popped in for a little bit, gave us some words of encouragement. So shout out to you, Bailey. We're looking forward to get you back on our team and racing next week.
Awesome, Jeff. Well, great run here tonight, and way to get up there on the podium after starting so far back. Fun to watch you come through, and we'll catch you next week at North Wilkesboro.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, and that was driver number 48, Jeff Wright. And winner tonight, once again, AJ Stravato, his second career victory here in the Virtual Racing League. We're used to seeing him win on the Thursday night races, but haven't seen him win on Wednesday night since we've been broadcasting. But congrats to AJ on his victory here. Let's take a look at the rest of the results for tonight's race. Oh, there it is. AJ Stravato, your race winner after starting on the front row in second. He leads 98 laps on his way to victory. To recap, we did just have the 3 cautions, the 1 for the stage and then 2 early on in this race in the first 20 laps. At a total of 7 lead changes among a few drivers. AJ Stravato, though, winning the race. Connor Horn recovering to second after getting knocked out of the way. Jeff Wright finishes third. Dylan Parker finishes in fourth. Good run for him. He continues his streak of solid runs. Yusuf Ghali, his best finish of the season, finishes fifth. Garrett Keat finishes in sixth. Jeremy Miller, really good drive at the end to finish in seventh. Mark Emerson finishes in eighth. Jeremiah Vincent finishes ninth. And Keith Mayato rounding out the top 10. 11th position was Angelo Huronis. 12th, Eli Hinton. 13th was Elliot Butler. 14th, Jordan Ashland. 15th was Greg Wellen. 16th, Safe Ferris. 17th, Eddie Trejo. 18th, Joe Stafford. 19th, Brennan Hattery. Rounding out the top 20 was Zak Halpern. 21st was Lyle Sulfridge. 22nd, Lane Sulfridge. 23rd, Caleb Hattery. 24th, Eric Hutton, taking it behind the wall early. 25th, Ben Bafford, who we saw got the heavy right side contact early in this race, and he took it behind the wall. Ryan Shelton also involved early on. He got taken out there in the initial wreck. He finishes 26th in tonight's race. So that will pretty much do it for the event tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night with the All-Star race for the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. It's going to be a lot of fun. The IndyCar at the iRacing Super Speedway, so it'll be a bit crazy, foot to the floor, drafting, 230, 240 mile an hour action. So you are not going to want to miss that one. We'll be right back here on tomorrow night, 8:25 p.m. and then next Wednesday, 9:25 right here with Virtual Racing League again, and next Thursday with Below the Double Yellow. So a bunch of races coming up here, and you won't want to miss any of them. You can keep up with what we're doing throughout the week over on Facebook or Twitter. Check us out on our YouTube channel for race replays, as well as our Instagram for occasional updates and posts. And you can also see what we have going on over at vspeedsim.com, all the different services and products that we have for sale. So check us out over there if you're interested in taking your iRacing experience to the next level. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for following Nate42. Saw that just a few minutes ago in the mid-interview. Want to thank you for that follow, as well as everyone else who tuned in tonight. We're going to see who we can jump in with wrap up tonight's broadcast. And it looks like we can jump in with Blake McCandless, Mr. F4 Speed, and go enjoy his content. Thank you so much, and have a great night.